Chapter 9. 6 experts share their top techniques to never give up. To share with you a different perspective on persistence, I invited 6 experts, authors, and bloggers to share their thoughts about this topic. Below are their answers. Stephen Gillis, best-selling author of Many Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results. On my way to becoming an internationally best-selling author with my first book, which is now being translated into a dozen languages, one might think I am an overnight success. But truly, I nearly quit my blog, the one I needed to launch this book, 6 separate times. It was persistence that brought me to where I am. And there were two key things that helped me keep going. First, I didn't start the blog because I wanted to make money. I started the blog because I enjoyed analyzing life through words and wanted to share my ideas with more than just family and friends. When I didn't get a lot of attention for the first couple of years, I remembered that I didn't write because I wanted money or fame. This detached my work from results, which allowed me to continue. Second, I believed in what I was doing. If you don't believe in what you are doing, persistence is going to be nearly impossible. Self belief in general or in a particular area comes with practice. I had been writing for a year before I considered quitting the first time, and I had developed a better writer in that time. Seeing that improvement also helped me to keep going. To summarize, persist by first connecting your pursuit to a genuine interest that's not driven by superficial things like money or fame. This interest can drive you to the point where you will see progress and improvement. Then you will see progress and develop a self belief that if you can't do it now, you will get there soon. Joel Runyon, blogger at impossiblehq.com. He says, you need one thing to hold on to, one amazingly rock solid reason for doing what you are doing. You need to have a bulletproof answer to the question, why am I doing this? Because when your lungs are screaming, your body is tired, your brain is fried, and every ounce of your being wants to quit, you need to be able to come back to that one thing and let it be what makes you take the next step. Serena Star Leonard, best-selling author of How to Retire in 12 Months, Turning Passion into Profit. There are many reasons why you may give up on something. If you have genuinely lost interest or perhaps never had it in the first place, giving up may be inevitable. But if you are tempted to give up because things got really hard or you are facing seemingly insurmountable challenges, here are my tips for pushing through. First, stop and breathe. When you are really close to your project, you can get a skewed perspective on reality, especially if things appear to be tumbling or out of control. I find it helps to remove myself completely for a period of time. If you are very involved, take a couple of days off and do something completely different. Do something that usually fills you up and gives you great peace, joy, or calm. Sometimes just the act of leaving something that seems so important can give you some perspective. Stop, breathe, sleep on it, catch up with friends, and you will often find the solution you need falls into place. And often you will realize that it wasn't such a hard problem after all. Second, brainstorm ways you can do things differently. If you are really thinking about giving up on your goal, sit down and write a list of 10 or 20 ways you could do things differently that will increase your chances of success. Be super creative and let yourself come up with plausible and perhaps even seemingly implausible ways you could change how you approach your goal each day. We often bash our heads against the wall because a routine or strategy that is simply not working. Give yourself creative license to change it up and see what you can come up with. Now, third, remember that everything you can change overnight. Even if you have had no joy for 6 months or 2 years in your project, you have to remember that everything can change overnight. Imagine that tomorrow you had some great breakthrough in your project. What actions could you take to make that breakthrough a reality? What could you call? What could you offer? What can you create? What action will you take? What are you who are you avoiding approaching? The answers to those questions should create a set of possible actions that could alter your results fast. Next is Derek Doebker, best-selling author of Why You Are Stuck. He says, three magic words to stick to any resolution. Do you ever get started with something feeling like you can take on the world and then life gets in the way to throw you off track? There is one technique that's a bit of a secret weapon of mine for staying on track no matter how challenging things get. I call it my three magical words technique. I simply ask myself, can I just, and then insert an action so easy I can do it no matter how unmotivated I feel. Let's say I don't feel like doing an hour long workout. I can ask, can I just do the warm up? If even that's too overwhelming, I will ask, can I just do the first 30 seconds? After that, I would ask, can I just do a little more? One more rep, one more exercise? I can always stop once I have reached a point where I have felt like I have done all I can and still feel a sense of accomplishment. Have you ever noticed that it's after you start doing something, then you feel like you want to keep on going? Instead of trying to get motivation, try to get momentum. The motivation will naturally follow. Success breeds success. Each time you are victorious at doing even a little thing, your sense of accomplishment and desire to do more will grow. This means anytime you feel like quitting, give yourself just the tiniest step in the right direction, ideally something that takes you less than a minute to do. Then, if that's all you can do for that day, then great. Reward yourself by saying, I did something when I felt like quitting, and that makes me awesome. With this self reward process, every single time you follow through is critical to making a habit stick. If your rewards are far off down the road, you will rarely feel good enough in the short term to stick with your resolution. This means the whole, yeah, well, I should have done more. I'm pathetic type of self talk has to go. Changing your inner dialogue is an often overlooked part of this whole process. Reward yourself every single time you follow through on even the tiniest step in the right direction. This feeling of accomplishment will push you to do even more. This method always works so long as you make sure you give yourself an easy target to shoot for. Even if it takes months to build momentum, Using these three magical words, can I just, to find the smallest step you are willing to take, is guaranteed to take you farther than doing nothing at all. Next is Michael Stavky, best-selling author of the Trickle-Down Mindset, the missing element in your personal success. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. What to do when you feel like quitting? Well, if you feel like quitting, it's about a few months too late to do anything. It means that you don't believe in what you are doing. It doesn't excite you. You don't feel it's worth your time and effort. Something went wrong a long time ago. The reason for this feeling is rarely sensible. I can come up with only two instances when it's justified. It doesn't provide the results you want, or you are exhausted and have no strength to finish your task. Both of these sensible reasons demand sensible solutions. Firstly, tweak your actions so you will start getting desirable effects. Secondly, change your lifestyle so you will have higher energy levels on a daily basis. To ensure your results, you should consider more than just your current level of motivation. You need a plan, metrics, and a tracking system. Some external validation is also not a bad idea, like a mentor, coach, like minded community of people, mastermind group, or an accountability partner. You should develop your plan and start tracking your results from the start. To improve your energy levels, you need to examine yourself. What do you eat? How often do you exercise? How long do you sleep? Then you need to amend your daily routines to improve your performance. You are exhausted because of your lifestyle, not of the job at hand. If you lack strength, my best guess is that you are sleep deprived. The best trick for that is to take a brief nap. A power nap can bring you back to almost normal, faster, and without the side effects of stimulants. Let's analyze what lies behind the I feel like quitting statement. First of all, it's a feeling, something short term and counter to rationality. The first sign of this feeling is your self talk. Here are some things I say when I try to discourage myself from action. And what's that for? Nobody really appreciates your job anyway. I have slogged for too long. I deserve some rest. Take it easy. It's not so important, is it? This is hard. I need some rest. Turn on the movie and forget about the world for the next 2 hours. All those statements are expressions of feelings lurking behind them: a hunger for acceptance, a desire for relaxation and comfort, or boredom. The best immediate solution is to amend your self dialogue. It's not hard to outtalk your emotions. They are dumb and you are smart. But noticing your discouraging self talk and fighting it isn't easy. You need some practice. It's all about prevention again. I recommend journaling and or meditation to increase your awareness of your self-talk. Usually the rationalizations behind your emotions are not only dumb but are also false. In my case, nobody really appreciates your job anyway. Simply means that my wife hasn't praised me lately. It's her acceptance I am striving for the most. The easiest counter argument to your self whining is it true? Does nobody appreciate me? Of course, somebody does. I have many testimonials from my readers saying that my work is valuable. Do I deserve rest? Of course not. Rest is not something you need to earn, it's a necessary part of life. Do I need to rest right now? That's a valid question. Is what I am doing unimportant? If yes, then I should definitely do something else instead. Asking yourself, is it true, leads to feeble answers from your subconscious mind. These answers can be easily dismantled by further questioning. For example, this is hard. I need some rest. Is it true? Yes, I'm tired. What was so tiresome? Oh, well, yeah, I slept for just 7 hours and I have already been working 2 hours. And now, you know that you are just making excuses. In my experience, this feeling is the result of neglecting the foundations, especially your personal philosophy. Personal philosophy is the attitude you adopt for the conduct of your life. It's the conglomerate of your beliefs. It serves as the filtering mechanism for all ideas bombarding your mind. I recommend prevention. Don't worry about the current lack of motivation. Work on the constant flow of motivation, and this feeling will never show up or will be nipped in the bud. A long time ago, my subconscious gave up any direct attempts to discourage me from action. As a part of my personal philosophy, I adopted the belief, if I quit, I will never know the results. Quitting is simply not an option in my worldview. Shifting your own beliefs is not an easy job. It may be done relatively quickly, but you need to be a master of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, to achieve lasting results in a short time span. Most of us are not, and thus I recommend a more balanced approach. Change your data sources, change the people you interact with, and change your self talk. If you change these three elements alone, you will change your life forever. No magic, no woo woo involved. Open up to new information, new people, and improving your internal dialogue will cause the natural process of belief osmosis to work. I challenge you to consume just one new medium, blog, podcast, etc. Join just one new group of people and meditate or journal for 5 minutes a day and do it for 100 days. Then try to remain the same person. You will prevent yourself from quitting instead of expending a lot of energy to fight the temptation when it comes. Next expert is Hung Pham, best-selling author of Breakthrough: 12 Powerful Steps to Destroy Your Mental Barriers and Achieve Success. For the better part of my 20s, I suffered from depression, addiction, and was drowning in debt. There were many days where not only did I feel like giving up, but I wouldn't mind if a car crashed into me and took my life. I just felt like I was such a waste of a life. Looking back now, it's very sad that I would think that way, but during that time, I couldn't help it. I am happy to say that I am in a much better place now. Out of debt, recovered from addiction, and more importantly, I am thriving as an entrepreneur. The best pieces of advice that I can give to anyone who feels like giving up are the following. Number 1. If you are suffering from depression or addiction, seek help right away. For most of you 20s, I was embarrassed to seek help and thought I could bear it on my own. But in reality, you need to seek help as a start. Second one, if you want to give up because your goals seem insurmountable, look for the small wins. When I was trying to get out of $60,000 worth of debt, I started small. I tried to work backwards to figure out a system that would allow me to pay off my debt within a reasonable time. It's important to look for the small wins because those add up to the bigger wins. Third, if you find yourself stretched too thin because you have so much going on in your life, reprioritize what is most important. Cut out all the BS for me. It was about getting better and mentally healthier. Once I did that, all of the other aspects of my life, such as my career and business, began to thrive. Number four, and lastly, if you just don't have the confidence anymore, remember this: nothing hard ever come easy to anyone. Life is supposed to be hard, and for those of us who really want to make an impact, there is always a struggle. But the value is in the journey and not the destination. I never sought to be an entrepreneur, but in the process of getting better, I realized how much I can help others through my experience. That's the one thought that stays with me every day. All the things you want in life are outside of your comfort zone. Now, six experts share their top techniques to never give up. A quick recap by Stephen Guise. Number one, have a different motivation than external goals like money or fame. Second, have a belief in what you are doing. By Joel Runyon. Have a bulletproof answer to the question, why am I doing this? By Serena Starr Leonard. Leave your problems for a couple of days to gain a fresh perspective. And brainstorm 10 to 20 ways to do things differently and increase your chances of success. Then imagine you had a breakthrough in your project and ask yourself what could help you make it a reality. By Derek Doepker. Instead of trying to get motivation, try to get momentum. Ask yourself, can I just and come up with a small action you can do no matter how motivated you are. And reward yourself every single time you make the tiny step in the right direction. By Michael Stavicki. Prevent problems with motivation by setting the right goals and tweaking your actions to ensure results. Secondly, create a plan and track your results from day one. Ask yourself if your problems are not the result of low energy levels. Take a nap to improve your performance. Fourth, journal and or meditate to become more aware of when you rationalize your temptation to give up. Fifth, change your personal philosophy by changing the resources you consume: books, blogs, podcasts, etc. The people you interact with and your inner thoughts. By Hung Pham. If you are suffering from depression or addiction, set your prejudices aside and seek professional help. When working on big goals, look for the small wins. They add up to the bigger wins. Reprioritize what is most important and cut away distractions. Nothing hard ever comes easy to anyone. Struggle is a part of the process. Epilogue. A summary of the book in writer's own words. Writer says, I wrote this book with one goal in mind: to help you understand what affects persistence and how to become a grittier person. If my book helped you push through the obstacles and overcome the short term feeling of discouragement, I consider my job done. Please don't discount the importance of the first chapter though. Persistence is deemed the most important quality of successful people. Yet, the key is to apply the power of your grit to the things that are right in your unique situations. There have been many times in my life where I followed the wrong path. By giving up things that were not right for me, I gained more time and energy to focus on the things that were right to me. That's why I started this book talking about when to quit. As Richard Koch points out in his book, Living the 80-20 Way, if you go for the right activities, you can work effortlessly and achieve a great deal. If you have already discovered the right things for you, I hope the advice I shared with you in this book will serve you for the rest of your life. Now, the crucial things to remember from this book. First, utilize the power of routines to make your behaviors automated. The less resistance you feel to work on your goals, the less likely you are to give up. Work on your mental toughness by making yourself uncomfortable. Focus on the results and don't disregard the power of proper rest. Even the top performers don't practice for more than 4.5 hours a day. Identify how you can sabotage yourself and learn how to deal with these behaviors. Become a more resilient person by learning how to adapt to changes and solving problems. Be relentless. Use the 5 techniques mentioned in chapter 7 to stick to your goals. And the last one, become aware of the most common mistakes people make when working on their goals and avoid them in your life. Practice the art of persistence, and I know without a doubt you will achieve your goals and change your life for the better.